YouTube, welcome back to Wtf Rc Cars. So we've got a servo upgrade for the TT-02. So basically we're just going to be swapping this guy out. So let's see if I can get this tie wrap off without cutting through any wires that we need. So that's the first thing we're going to need to do. And then we're going to want to unplug the servo. I'd usually bring you in for a real close-up on this, but there's not really much to see, so we'll just crack on with it. Why have I got a tiny little grub screw falling out of my TT-02? Where is that from? Well, I'll have to investigate that in a minute. It's not the pinion one, and I can't remember putting any others in there. But first thing we're going to want to do is remove our screws for a servo. So we'll get that out. Then we're going to have to move this to one side. I'm not sure which one's going to be the easier to get to. Should be this one. And it's as easy as that. 3 screws and your servo's out. Then we're just going to need to drop the servo off the mounts. So if you just loosen them slightly, and then we've got them to one side. Then it's always better to get your servo plugged in, and then we're going to need a battery to power it up. What we got kicking about, that'll do. We're not going to be running motor, we're just going to be running servo. So one thing I would do, because all servos are slightly different, so I'd reset your sub trim, and the end points will need adjusting, but you don't have to do them at the moment. We're just looking for the servo to be centered. So once you've got that centered, you can power off. Shutting down. Then we're going to need to get our servo mounts back on a servo. And you've just got to be careful of the cables coming out your servo when you're putting these back on, especially if you're using one of these shorter servos like this one. So let's see if they line up. It looks like they're close enough. Then you're going to want to remove your servo arm. And I'm hoping the same screw should fit on this one. So we'll try and get it as central as possible. And don't worry, it's never usually possible to get the servo absolute perfect center, because that's what the endpoint adjustment, or sub trim should I say, is for. And just check, make sure your servo's not binding on anything. Then we're going to need to line up our steering arm. That's got that back in. Then we're going to need to flip it over and get us 2 screws back in the base that hold us servo. So let's see how far off his sub trim is on this one. Right, so a sub trim actually looks pretty straight on that one. So let's get the endpoint set. Perfect. Let's find a box to stick it on. Certainly quick enough, but I think that foam's going to need removing for the what we had for the. I'm not really sure why Tamiya advised putting that foam in. That is really annoying. So that is about as annoying as a Savox. Maybe not so much of an issue when it's out on track, but certainly if the whining of a servo is something that's going to be a problem for you, I would definitely stay away from the Surpass hobby ones. The performance is definitely there, but that is really annoying, especially in a quiet room. But let's get
signal lost. Shutting down.
Let's get the wires in, or as cables should I say. We get these nice and tidy again. Of course, we certainly don't need cables flying around. And I think I'm going to bring the power cables around that way as well, just to tidy it all up. That's looking a lot better because we have the cable coming out that way and running in. As to whether this motor cover is necessary or not, not really sure how much strength it gives the motor plate and everything. So I'm going to try running it as stock, keep an eye on the motor temps, see if it tries to cook itself. There you have it. It's all fitted. It does match the colour of the Carson speed controller, so that's quite nice. But thanks again for watching Wtf Rc Cars. If you like this kind of video, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, share to friends and family, and I'll catch you guys again in the next one.